as you can see, I'm currently in this beautiful home right now. So I just want to preface this by saying this is not going to be some sad story about how I was forced into homelessness and was like living out on the streets and had no choice. This is actually about my chosen homelessness as a lifestyle at my age 28. And so I just want to talk a little bit about why I chose this life, my experience with it and how I'm able to live and travel so cheaply. So, why did I choose this life? I'll tell you about the home in a second, but first, why did I choose this life? Well, first of all, I grew up just always moving, and so I feel like I've never attached this idea of home to a place. My parents were split up, so we were always like going back and forth from house to house, and we were always just like moving a lot anyway, moving into rental and different homes, and upsizing, downsizing, and renting and downsizing. And then when I turned 18, I lived with a few different roommates and went to like college dorm and stuff like that. And then at one point I moved across the country and kind of lived in my car slash tent off grid for 5 months. And then I have just been bouncing around on my travels and will just come, crash at my family's house for a few months for the holidays or if I'm visiting somebody. And I've just never like stayed in one place for really longer than a year. So I just don't have this strong attachment to any place. I just grew up being very mobile. Also, since my parents were split up, like we were always the ones to like go to other people's houses. We were just never like a central hub. I think some houses are like where everybody comes to. We were not one of those. Like we always went everywhere else. So again, I just don't feel attached to any place. And on one hand, that's very like, it feels very unstable and disorienting. But on the other hand, it has really pushed me to lean more on my daily rituals and routines to give me that feeling of home and security, whether it's my face massage or like my morning coffee or how I do my work and how I move throughout my day. I can take those familiar habits with me wherever I go, and that has kind of become my little portable bubble of home, my routines and my rituals throughout the day. It's also turned me into a very minimalist person. Everything that I own fits in my car, and I'm storing like some stuff, in a closet at my mom's house, but everything that I own could fit in my car. And I actually love that part. It's very liberating. It's because each time I move, if I accumulate some stuff, I've just constantly had to re-go through my stuff and downsize my stuff and get rid of things. And so that has kept me very mobile and free and quite minimalist. So I think that's been a good part of this. And then also it's kept me very adaptable, like some things I am very high maintenance on, which I kind of have some contradictions there, like certain health things and diet things I've been very high maintenance on. That's a whole nother story. But with most things, I'm relatively like low maintenance and very adaptable. So those are the good things that have come out of it. And so why else have I chosen to be homeless? I could have lived this life and it might have made me really, really want to have my own space, as soon as I could. But for me, it hasn't. Like I've just been able to adapt to this kind of digital nomad wandering lifestyle. I don't think I said this. I work online, so that is why I'm able to be location independent right now. So all my work is portable. I just need Wi-Fi and, a place to sit and put my laptop and do my work. And that's all I need. But I am not like a millionaire entrepreneur, okay? I do not make that much money. I am like actually just at the poverty line of the income levels in the US. So I don't make that much money. Like, millionaire entrepreneur goals, but I'm not there yet. So I have very low expenses. I keep it that way intentionally because I just know, like, I've always known that I'm not meant for this 9 to 5 life. Like, I've always known. that I wasn't gonna participate in this matrix. I was always interested in like alternative lifestyles and alternative work and living situations. Like I could just never do the 9 to 5 thing. And I never went into the corporate world. I always had odds and ends jobs until I started working online. So that was always on my radar, you know, being self-employed, being a freelancer, a contractor, or an entrepreneur, and pretty much, you know, escaping the matrix, so to speak. So that was my chosen lifestyle from the beginning. And if I wanted to rent a place and have my own place in the US, could I? Yes, but I would be spending every freaking thing that I earned. And I am just not gonna do that, right? Like, I wanna invest in things, I wanna save money, I want to spend money on other things. Like, I want to, you know, I prioritize, like, you know, really good quality food and good quality products and certain things. Like, I just want to put my money elsewhere. Like, what is the point in tying myself down in one place and spending all of my money on rent when I am working all the time and I don't even get to enjoy that place? And then I'm just throwing that money away and not even like building something. On the flip side, like, I don't want to buy a house either because I'm just not at a point in my life where I am ready to choose where I want to live. Like, I just feel like I really want to explore the world while I can, while I don't have kids. You know, right now I'm single. I have like no, basically no responsibilities. I have nieces and nephews and family that I like to see several times a year, but I don't have to like take care, like, I have no pets. Nobody depends on me. And so why would I not just like enjoy my freedom right now, you know, and explore the world? I've always felt like an explorer, a seeker. I've always just really resonated with like the gypsy wanderer archetype, you know, and I think it's because of how I grew up, but also just, I don't know, like, I think the point of life, I see like life more of like a school, and like we're here to learn and explore and like gather and collect experiences rather than accumulate a bunch of stuff and like have the most toys when we die, which we can't even take with us. And don't get me wrong, like, I do want to be abundant. Like, I do want to make money. I'm not against having a lot of money. No, not at all. I would like to make some more money one day, but I'm just saying, like, I am able to enjoy this level of freedom now as someone who just like is barely at the poverty line of the income levels in the US. Okay, so that is why I don't want to be tied down to a place. I want to enjoy my freedom. I would rather not work my ass off all day every day to throw that money away and not even get to enjoy that time. And not being able, not having to like work 5 jobs just to survive. I have some space in my life for creativity and trying new things and exploring. Like, I don't have all this pressure on my life to pay a bunch of bills. And again, I have designed it like this from the beginning. And I know not everybody has this privilege, you know, especially being from the US, being able to get remote jobs fairly easily, I guess, or just having more opportunities, you know, as an English speaker, making USD. I know that not everybody gets these opportunities, and I'm very grateful for them. But this is just my situation. This is how I'm doing it. Now, how do I live and travel so cheaply? Well, this lovely house that I'm staying in right now is obviously not mine. I'm currently cat sitting for this lovely family. So this is like my number one travel, even life hack, is like house sitting, pet sitting in exchange for staying in that place for free. So, you know, here I get to enjoy this huge, like, gorgeous home in exchange for feeding the fish, feeding the cats, watering some plants, and, you know, maintaining the space. And so it is a very good deal. And there's house sits all over the world. So this is one of my favorite methods that I use to travel so cheaply. And then also, you know, again, this is coming from a very like more privileged position, but coming from the Western world, there are certain countries where your money will just stretch so much farther. And so I definitely take advantage of those opportunities to go stay in Southeast Asia. And now, like, my month-long Airbnb rentals will be way less than rent would be in the US. and it's like so much better there anyway. And so yeah, like that's how I do it. When you rent Airbnbs by the month, there's usually a big discount on them. And so that is what I do. I get Airbnbs in cheaper countries, I house it, and I will have to disclose this very individual privilege that I have, and that is that I get to fly for free on standby with the certain airlines because I have family members that work for that airline company, and I too used to work for that airline company, so I feel like I kind of put in my dues at one point. You know, for 2 years, I was cleaning the planes for this airline and working like really early mornings and doing all this stuff. And I have family members that still work for that airline. So I'm very fortunate. I'm able to fly for free on standby with that airline. And so with free houses and cat sitting stays, free flights on a certain airline company with standby. Again, the seats are not guaranteed. I've had to sleep in the airport many times, but it is absolutely better than paying for the flights. And then three, getting monthly Airbnb rentals in cheaper countries. I am able to keep my expenses very low, and I'm able to enjoy my life more and enjoy my freedom more and save along the way, invest along the way, and have more free time along the way to be creative and to experiment things, to try and fail things. And so I'm just speaking for myself. That is the position that I'm in. I think anybody can try house sitting and pet sitting. Not everybody is going to make USD or, work in a country where it's cheaper somewhere else or have the free flights for sure. I'm very lucky on that one. But that is how I do it. And I am very happy to be homeless at my age. Will I want my own place eventually? Like, yeah, of course, I'm gonna want my own house. I feel like there's gonna come a day where I'm gonna settle into like having this plot of land and having a homestead and like really enjoying putting down roots. But right now, I am enjoying my wings. I think we should have wings before we have roots. And I just want to fly around and explore places where I would want to put roots and where, I know for sure that I don't want to live in the US. So like where would I want to go and invest in the culture and learning that language and finding a community there, even though it feels quite unstable. And I do go in and out of communities and environments all the time. It's like I've never been so free in my life, and I really, really enjoy this lifestyle. I feel like I could go anywhere and like anything could happen. And that excitement of like infinite possibilities and potentials is what just like fuels me in life. And I love it so much. So, yeah, that's my experience. I'm gonna go check on the cats now, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.